Hello and welcome to another episode of Agri Art. The cucumber family contains a great many common vegetables and fruit, the most prominent of which are the cucumber, the melon, the bottle gourd, the square cucumber, and the watermelon. These crops have been depicted in the European iconography during the Renaissance age. The wealthy banker Agostino Chigi was a major patron of the arts, and was a lover of the ancient herbal manuscripts of Greek and Latin origin. Within his mansion there was a festoon that depicted the heavenly adventures of Venus, Cupid, and Psyche. This work was commissioned by this banker, who used the artists Raphael Sanzio and Giovanni Martini de Udine. These artists would paint a scene with a great many fruit, vegetables, and flowers. Dr. Jules Janick and Dr. Harry Paris hoped to use this painting to see what cultivars of these species were available during this time period, and here are the results. Within this festoon, 5 images of watermelon were depicted. All depicted fruits were round, medium green, with dark, narrow stripes. All but one of these were depicted as being around 4 kilograms. The smaller one seems to be infected with some sort of mold. These festoon images appear to be the first Renaissance paintings of watermelons that we know of. Since that point, depictions of watermelon were common in the 16th and 17th century European paintings, and appear to be in similar size, shape, and rind coloration to those in this festoon. In terms of melons, 16 melons from 3 cultivar groups have been depicted within this festoon. 11 of these images are of cantaloupes, 3 from muskmelons, and 2 are depictions of snake melons. The 11 cantaloupes depicted are 4 separate cultivars. One of these resembles a modern cultivar, Canteloune, the leading market type of melon in France. The other 3 resemble the heirloom cultivars, the Bellegarde, Noir de Carmes, and Blackrock. This plausibly indicates that these cultivars, or the distant ancestors of these cultivars, were extant within this region. 2 cultivars of snake melon are depicted in 2 images. One of them clearly shows a fruit with warty skin, an unusual character trait of this cultivar group. The other cultivar is more akin to what a normal cultivar group would look like. The depictions of these melons seem to be derived from multiple sources in terms of herbal documents, all of which will be listed on the next 2 slides. From a cucumber perspective, 13 clusters of cucumbers were depicted on its festoon, all of which resemble modern pickling varieties of cucumber. There is a great variation within the depiction, although this level of variation is common in open-pollinated cultivars of old. Nearly all European Renaissance depictions of cucumber are akin to the American pickling type. The fruits are predominantly warted, short, and cylindrical, but tapering to a narrow end at the point where the fruit is attached to the stem. These fruit are also straight or slightly curved. In this regard, the festoon is no different. Depictions of fresh-eaten cucumber appear less predominantly. One festoon image with 5 fruit is identifiable as a squirting cucumber. This is a wild species mostly used for medicine purposes, and was commonly foraged in days gone by. As far as we know, this festoon is the only one with a depiction of this species outside of the herbals. The depiction of these species seem to be derived from multiple herbal sources, much like the previous species, and likewise these will be listed in the next 2 slides. The bottle gourds are the most abundantly depicted within the festoon. Several cultivar groups are represented within these images. The large ball-shaped type is represented by images of 8 fruit at different stages of maturity. The small ball-shaped type is represented by 7 fruit, again at different stages of maturity. The elongated cucurbitaceae group is represented by 23 fruit, most of which are slightly curved, with one being quite contorted. Unlike the other 2 groups, which are used to make vessels and utensils and so on and so forth, the fruits of the cucurbitaceae type are eaten when unripe, in much the same way the cucumber is. There's also a few depictions of hybrids of multiple groups of bottle gourd mixed together, a possibility in a garden setting. Also within this festoon appear 4 images of the balsam apple. The fruits are red/orange and slightly warty with a pointed end. The balsam apple is a bitter fruit species in the cucumber family. This species is grown for food and medicine purposes in relatively dry tropical areas. It's not commonly grown in Europe, but it is depicted within herbals. As far as we know, this festoon is the only depiction of the species outside of the herbals. Like the previous species we mentioned, the depictions can be drawn from multiple herbal sources, and we'll conclude this video by listing these in the next few slides. But other than that about covers everything. Thank you for watching. Hello, I just want to let you know, if you want to fund this channel, you can do so on the platforms seen in the description below.